I am Elyse Clayton. I'm going over the cardiovascular system. All right, the cardiovascular system, or our circulatory system, is how the blood flows through our bodies to deliver oxygen and nutrients to our cells. And so here I have our veins and our arteries, along with the chambers of the heart, color-coded. Blue represents deoxygenated blood, and red represents oxygenated blood. So arteries carry blood away from the heart, and veins carry it toward the heart. So I'll get a little closer look at our heart here. Oh. Okay, so humans and mammals have a four-chambered heart that allows us to be endothermic and produce our own heat. So with our four chambers, we have the atrium, which collect blood. The right one will collect deoxygenated blood from the body and then pump it into the right ventricle, which will pump it through the lungs so it can become oxygenated, and then it goes into the left atrium, which is another little temporary storage spot, and then it'll go into the left ventricle, which will pump it out to the rest of the body so it can start the process all over again. The other type, there are also three-chambered hearts and two-chambered hearts for insects and birds and amphibians. All right, so while the amphibians and reptiles are ectotherms and rely on outside sources, mammals like humans and dogs and birds are all endotherms, and they can use their own body to regulate their temperatures by producing their own heat. And our four-chambered heart lets us do that. We also have a closed circulatory system. So do mammals, all the mammals and reptiles and birds, meaning it's all enclosed in our blood vessels, our veins, our arteries, and our chambered heart. Some really simple organisms and insects, you'll see an open circulatory system where it just kind of flows wherever it wants. It's just filling up the whole body and just, we also have a double loop system, which you see where it went through both sides of the heart with four chambers. It goes through right side and left side. A single loop system would just go through it once, and that's for a lot smaller organisms where it doesn't need that much power to get it all the way through the body. So with all of our blood vessels, we have what are called capillaries, which are tiny little blood vessels that facilitate the exchange of oxygen and nutrients between the blood and the cells. The human body is so intricate that if you take out all of our capillaries and stretch them out, they can wrap around the world twice.
That was fantastic. I have to say that cardiovascular system, you picked probably one of the most complex systems in the body that is very, very complicated. And then the fact that you're even thinking about different species and different anatomy of hearts, from mammals to amphibians, like you mentioned, that's fantastic. It kind of always amazed me how different cardiovascular systems could be from species to species, but also how similar they are. But let's see, what questions do they have? We always listen to a dog's heart when they come into the hospital. Probably when you all go to the doctor, you have your heart listened to as well with the stethoscope. Have you thought a little bit about kind of in a dog that's standing on all four legs, where you would maybe want to put your stethoscope to listen to the heart?
Probably a little bit lower than the chest, between the front legs. That's probably where their heart is the closest, and you can get a good reading.
And so it's kind of fun, and it's challenging even for our students to kind of look at human anatomy, like the picture you have behind you, and then think about where does the heart fall in a different way, in a four-legged creature. And like you said, the heart is going to fall. It will shift a little bit towards the left of midline and be lower in the chest, like you said, or more ventral in the chest. And so you can actually hear it really well on the left side of the chest, even just right behind the dog's elbow. And for one of the best places to listen for murmurs is actually on their sternum. When they're kind of like crouched down, we can usually hear heart sounds in that location. And you can also hear it a little bit on the right side of the chest as well, so we'll always listen to the left and right side of the chest. But like you said, left side and lower in the thorax is usually the ideal place. And then I had another question. This is kind of hard, but we were just talking about capillaries and how blood flows through the body. And we like to feel a pulse on all of our patients when they come in for a physical exam. Do you have any ideas where you might be able to feel a very strong artery where you could feel a good pulse in a dog?
Yes, there is an artery going through the inner thigh of their back legs, up kind of high, where you can feel a really good pulse.
Good job. Yeah, that's fantastic. Dogs have a really nice femoral artery, and so do cats. And so if you've ever seen a veterinarian kind of out there doing their physical exam, they'll usually kind of run their fingers on the inside of the patient's thigh